Hi, I'm Roxy Rose, and I'm back again doing another video. If you haven't seen my other videos, well, take a look at them. There's plenty of videos to look at, and they all have to do with transitioning late in life. If you don't know, I'm 49, and I started transitioning at 47, so that's a bit late, but it's never really too late, ladies, to transition. There's a lot of women out there that have emailed me, and they're much older and just starting transition. And gosh, there's been a lot of very supportive comments. I really appreciate all those. A lot of emails. I'm really sorry that I've been very wrapped up in my crazy, complicated life. There's so much going on in my life right now that I've been selfishly preoccupied with that, and I hope to get back on track, though. I just started a Facebook site. I'm not really sure if I've done it the right way, and I'm not very internet savvy, but you can go visit it and hopefully get things started there. The Facebook page is Mature Trans Sisters. That's 3 words: MATURETRANS SISTERS, Mature Trans Sisters. You'll find that on Facebook, and go there and post something. Like I said, I'm not very internet savvy, and so I'll mention this. If there's any women out there, trans women out there, or if anybody out there that's a bit more internet savvy than I really think that a website or a Facebook page that has to do with mature transsexuals or transgender people, or those that even haven't transitioned yet, or that are transitioning in midlife, I think that there's a real need for a support group and a place where we could all talk and share our experiences. So if there's any people out there that would like to participate in a site like that, like I said, I'm not internet savvy. So if you want to help me, or please feel free to talk to me. And I really think for the community, the transgender community, a site for mature or late transitioners could be really advantageous, because I know there's a lot of sites out there to meet other transgender people, talk about things. There's a lot of sites for young transsexuals, but is there any site really for the mature transsexual, or the lady that's transitioning late in life? And I really don't think so. And I realized this after I posted a few videos, how hungry the transsexual community really is for this kind of information. So like I said, if there's anybody out there that has a bit of internet savvy, then please contact me and let's get things going. Anyways, I want to wish you all a happy Memorial's Day. Tomorrow's Monday. So a lot of you trans women out there are going to be handed the tongs and the spatula, and you're going to be sent out to the barbecue as usual to handle things out there. And that may or may not be the place that you really care to be. Not that there's anything wrong with going out there, but I know myself, it was kind of just handed to me. And it's kind of a funny thing, because when I transitioned, my dumb dad, one thing he said, and he's really funny, kind of, when he's not being offensive, but he said, Roxy, you can't be a transsexual. You love to barbecue. And I said, Dad, well, yes, it's true that I always barbecued for the family at all the gatherings. I took charge of the barbecue. I said, but Dad, you didn't realize that I also took charge of all the other cooking. I cooked the pies. I cooked the bread. I made candy. I was always in charge of all the cooking. I mean, my mom was a great cook, don't get me wrong. And she always took a huge role in that. But if it wasn't my mom, it was me that was doing the cooking, and not just barbecuing. And I'm kind of a little annoyed, because they never really paid attention that I was making these pretty pies and these beautiful breads. But anyway, so tomorrow's Memorial Day. They're going to send you out to the barbecue. Well, here's an idea. Run out there, even if it's the last minute. go get yourself a nice apron, and not from the hardware store. Go get yourself a nice apron that says something nice, maybe a pretty apron. And so what if it's fodder for a few jokes, or so what if people poke a little fun at it? Give a laugh yourself, and you know what it means to you to wear that nice apron. Gosh, even if it's just a purple apron, some sort of neutral color instead of the traditional black apron with a graphic on it that says something like "pull my finger." Get rid of that. Go get yourself a nice apron, so at least when you're out there doing that sort of thing, you kind of have a little something, a little spark in your life right then and right there. But anyways, I want to wish you a happy Memorial's Day to all my sisters out there, and I really do feel a kinship to all those women, young and old, but especially you midlife transitioners or those that haven't transitioned. Happy Memorial's Day. And I also am going to take this time to wish you a happy Mother's Day, a belated Mother's Day. I know that you don't get those often, or maybe ever, and for Father's Day you're going to get the traditional graphic t-shirt and the pocket fisherman. And if you don't know what a pocket fisherman is, then you're just too young. And no, it's not some sort of sexual contraption. Like I said, if you don't know what it is, then you're just too young. But us older ladies will know exactly what that is. In fact, we probably have one stuck away in one of our drawers in our garage. But so for Mother's Day, I'm wishing you a happy Mother's Day to all my trans sisters out there. Also, now I'm not here to complain or be negative or anything like that, but I'm going to tell you about my Mother's Day so that when you think about your Mother's Day that kind of came and went, maybe it won't be so bad. Maybe mine is bad enough for everybody. But like I said, I'm not really complaining. I'm not a negative person, but I'll share this with you. And it seems like sometimes my experiences, even though kind of depressing and offensive, sometimes people relate to them because they have very similar situations at home too. Well, if you don't know by my other videos, none of my family accepts me except my older brother, but I'm not going to go into all that. And it's the worst case scenario you could possibly imagine. And I was in such good standing before. I came and went in the family as no one did. And I ran the whole family, all the gatherings, the family business. I was the golden child there. Now I am completely unwanted, and not just unwanted, I am disallowed. In our religion, we were Jehovah's Witnesses, raised very strict Jehovah's Witnesses. They had something called disfellowshipping. Well, pretty much that's what I've been, disfellowshipped. So they're not allowed to talk to me, even though biblically I've done absolutely nothing wrong. Anyways, so my Mother's Day. Unfortunately, as I said, my family won't have anything to do with me, but I found out through the grapevine on the Friday, actually on Thursday before Mother's Day, I found out that my mother was sick and she was in the hospital. I found out through the grapevine. And I thought, boy, I better go visit her. I don't know how serious it is, so I better run down there. So on Friday, I made the trip. It's about 3 hours to go see my parents. And I made the trip down to the hospital where she was being kept. And luckily, when I got to the hospital, none of my siblings were there. Just my father was standing by her bedside, and my mother was there, and she looked like she was doing pretty good. She was eating, so that was good. And when she saw me, she said, "Hey, you." And she used the word "you," which before that she usually liked to use my birth name and kind of, stick it to me each time. She made made an issue out of not calling me by Roxy. She called me by my birth name. But this time she said, "Hey, you." And I said, "Hi, Mom." And I gave her this really big, long hug. And I said, "I really love you." And she gave me a hug back, and she said she loved me too, and we just embraced for a couple of minutes. And she whispered some really nice things. She said, "You're really special, Roxy, and you're going to do really special things." And that just, I just felt really great about that. And meanwhile, my dad stood by the bedside. He didn't say hi to me. He didn't say a word to me. And I said, "I'm sorry, Mom. I'm going to have to leave you," and I gave her some flowers that I got for her. "I just want you to know I was thinking of you." And I gave her a nice hug and a kiss, and she seemed really like she liked the visit. And, well, anyway, so I left, and my dad didn't say anything still, and I just left, and that was pretty upsetting. But I was glad to have seen my mother. But then Sunday rolled around, and I thought, gosh, even though it's just been a couple of days, I heard that she was released from the hospital and she was at home again. And I thought, well, I better go see her for Mother's Day, because I don't know how many Mother's Days that we'll have. And I thought that I felt so good about seeing her in the hospital that that I wanted to see her again. So I got to their house again. It was 3 hours there again. And unfortunately, there were several cars in front of their house, so I knew my siblings were there. I came up to the door, and I was committed to see my mother. And I came up to the door, and I knocked on it, and the door was open, but the screen door was closed. And my sister-in-law came to the door, and I said, "I'd like to say hello to my mother." And before, I used to just walk into the door, but, I'd walk in and out. I wouldn't knock, but I thought I'd be polite, and I did knock, and I asked to see my mother, and my sister-in-law said, "No, that's not a good idea." And I says, just for a minute, I just want to say hello to my mother. She says, "No, that's not a good idea." And I tried the door, and it was unlocked, so I started to open the door, and she immediately slammed it on me, and then we started wrestling back and forth with the door, physically wrestling with the door. And as the door opened a little, I could see my mom sitting on a chair not too far away. So I yelled to my mother, "Please, Mom, can I just come in and say hello to you just for a minute?" And my mother responded back and said, "No, I don't think that's a good idea." And I said, "Please, Mom, can I just come in for a minute and say hello?" And she said, "Okay, fine." And I was a little bit surprised at the different reaction now that she's amongst her family. And so then my sister-in-law released the door and let me in, and I came up to my mom, and I gave her a hug, and she looked at me very sternly and didn't say anything. I said, "I love you, Mom." And she didn't say anything, and I said, "Mom, can I just talk to you sometimes? Can I just call you sometimes? Because Dad won't answer my calls, and if by chance he does answer the phone, he won't let me talk to you." And I said, "Can I please just talk to you sometimes?" And she says, "No, I don't think that's a good idea." And I said, "Well, I have no one to talk to. I have no family left, really. Can't I just talk to you sometimes?" And she started rambling about, well, maybe we could talk after the resurrection. You see, we're raised Jehovah's Witnesses, and they believe in a resurrection. And she was suggesting that she didn't want to talk to me now, but after the resurrection, which means we have to die first, I guess. I was very upset. And then meanwhile, as I'm standing there and she's talking about the resurrection, my dad comes up beside me and said, "I'm going to have to ask you to leave." And then my effing little brother, who I've always cared for and taken care of, comes up behind my dad and says, "You have the right, you have the legal right to make him leave." And I just stood there for a minute, surrounded by all these horrible people. And I just said, "You guys are all just mean, horrible people." And that's all I said to him, and I left. And that was my Mother's Day. Gosh, I just can't imagine where these people come from and where they get off being these mean, horrible people. But anyways, that was my Mother's Day. I'm not here to complain or talk about negative things, but, you know, well, that was my Mother's Day, like I said. Sometimes, you know, if you get anything out of it, if you had a crappy Mother's Day like I did, you know, well, you're not alone. So, you know, I don't want to say it gets better. Everybody says, well, it takes a little time, but it's been 2 years. And it seems like it gets worse every year. Not better, for me at least. But I hope in your situation it gets better. Anyways. Life is good. I don't regret transitioning, even though I've lost all my family, including my mother and father. I still do not regret one bit transitioning. And I think life is really beautiful. Even with the little family that I have left, I think life is really beautiful. I really do. I enjoy every single day, even though I'm burdened sometimes with some issues. Life is... Shit. No. Life is really good. Oh, fuck. You know, I can't say anything. I really do love my life. I just don't like some of the people in it. And yeah, they do make me feel bad sometimes. But, as I said, and I'll say it again, life is really, really beautiful. It's just the lousy people in it sometimes. I should remake this video, I know, because nobody likes to see that. I'm going to go ahead and leave it in. I don't want you to think that I'm a negative or depressing person all the time, because I really am not. So, this has been Roxy Rose. Look at my other videos. I'll be making some more, and don't take this one out of context. You know, life is good, and it is good for me. But like you, the mature transgender person, there are some hard, bumpy roads ahead. I'm not gonna mislead you in suggesting there are not, because there are some really tough spots in the road. But I regret nothing. I regret nothing at all, and I really do love my life. And I know that you will too. And I don't in any way care to mislead you. But there are some tough there is some tough spots in the road. But this has been Roxy Rose. As I said, there's a Facebook page, Mature Trans Sisters. Go and join it, and you know, post on it if you can. I'm going to sign off now because I'm a little embarrassed, and I'm going to have to let you go. But this has been Roxy Rose talking about transitioning late in life, and things are good, and they will get better. They might not get better with some people, but and some individual people that aren't very nice people to begin with, anyways. But go look at my other videos. Hopefully you'll see that I'm not a depressing person. I'm a positive person. So don't let this get you down. And I hope your Mother's Day was better. And happy Memorial's Day. And like I said, go out and get yourself an apron. Anyways, to all my family out there and my trans sisters, I love you all, and I'll be making some more videos. Bye-bye.